killed himself, and then he hurt like 2 other people. So then her mom couldn't cope, so she had to, now keep in mind, she's had to plan the child's funeral because they weren't strong enough to do it. So she had to plan it at like 16 or 17 years old. Then Mario pretty much kills himself in the car accident. The mom isn't able to bury him. She has to do the funeral arrangements for that one. And then she comes home one day and her mom has overdosed on pills. She smells this horrible smell and finds her mom dead. So this girl has been through some massive traumatic stuff. And so it kind of makes sense. It makes a lot of sense as to why she is so closed off. It's amazing that she even allowed Kyrie's friendship, because she's so used to being let down. She's so used to not being loved and cared for from the people that she's supposed to receive it from, that it makes sense of why she is the way that she is. And her thing was like, we're supposed to be friends and you don't know anything about me. But my thing with that too is you didn't allow her in fully the way she wanted to. When you press Kiri will break and she'll tell you everything. And that's how you know about her. But if you don't break, what way does she have to ever get in, So that's my only thing. I didn't agree with her on that. I was just like, well, I mean, you got to open your mouth. Period. The end. So Kiri, felt horrible because she's like, she didn't know any of this was going on, and she just felt like the absolute worst person ever. And yet she tried to bring up the Harris situation again, and Layla's like, nope, we're not even talking about it. Don't even think. We're not going there. And I think because she feels something that she's probably never felt before, and she doesn't want to dive into that, because when you think about feelings and people and disappointment, you don't want to keep diving into that crap. So she's like, nope, let's just not even go there. So they go to St. Thomas to go dress shopping, and of course they take the helicopter. And here's the crazy thing: Harris he's teaching Layla how to fly the helicopter. Harris is a whole control freak. Like, he controls it. And the fact that he's like teaching her this, I'm like, he likes that girl. Something is up. So Kiri's paying attention. Roth isn't, because Roth is in his phone. So that kind of makes her upset. And so then when they get to St. Thomas, they're going in the shops, and Harris and Roth are like right behind him, kind of watching. And then, Kiri lets Roth know, she's pissed off. She's like, dude, you've been in your phone this whole time. Like, that's crazy. Like, why can't you be present? And so he kind of sweeps her away, and he's like, come with me. So he takes her to like this back door of this place, and he's like, she's going to make your wedding dress. And it's a woman named Ella, who is actually the sister of Eliza. And so she talks to them, and, she tells Roth, you got to stop blaming yourself for what happened. Like, I've forgiven you. I don't hold anything against you. You need to really learn to forgive yourself. Eliza, she's forgiving you. She's looking down on you. You need to forgive yourself. And he heard her, but, it was just it's still extremely difficult for him at this point. And so they leave from there, and she goes back to meet up with Layla, and they're going into these dress shops. And Layla, of course, tries on this super tight thing, and Kiri's like, girl, can you just try on something different? She's like, let me pick it for you. And Layla's like, nope, because I'm not going to like what you pick. And she's like, trust me, it's going to be good. So she picks out this nice, this beautiful yellow gown. It like comes to the knees, and then it shears, so you can still see your legs and everything. But it's super pretty. She looks like a dream. And so at first, Layla, of course, was like, I don't like it. But the way she said it, Kiri knew she actually really, she really did like it. Layla makes the statement, do you think Harris would like it? And Kiri's like, I knew it. I knew it, you know? And she's like, stop. If you don't stop, like, I'm never going to talk to you about this again. And so, they leave out, and they're talking to Harris. And I think Harris, he did hear him, because, again, you know, Harris has that great hearing. And so Kiri starts to kind of tell her a little bit more about how Harris has, you know, been looking out for them for years. So she tells him the story about with the Spanish guys and what he did. And she's kind of looking, but she's just like, wow, like, but thank you. And it's the first, because it's like, wow, this person outside of, you know, Kiri, it's like, dang, like, this person was like looking out for me. Like, wow, we could have just been dead. Like, that's crazy. So Layla, they go back, and that's the end of that day. So then the next day, Layla and Harris are gone for like over a day. It's been like 24 hours. And Kylie's thinking like they're having like some romantic rendezvous. But come to find out, they were just going to get Kyrie's younger brother, Cal. So he's 21, and they've gone to get him. And so he gets out. First of all, you got to think, he doesn't even know fully what's going on. So he has no clue what his sister's been through. She's kept him completely in the dark. He just knows she's had a boyfriend that has money. So him coming to this huge home, he's just like, wow, like, jeez, you know. And so they meet at, you know, he meets everyone, and then that night they have a bonfire, nice relaxed environment, everyone's drinking, having a good time. And then Alexei, I think that's how you say it, he comes up, he's one of the security guys, and he's like, there's been a breach. And so, you know, Harris is like, you know, you guys head inside, I'm gonna go check it out. And so that's what they do. So Harris goes to check it out. And then not too long, I think in the morning when they wake up, it's not early morning, but I don't think the sun's out at this point. But there's a loud, rapid knock on the door. And Kiri's like, jumps up, Ross jumps up, and they're like, what's wrong? And the Alexa guy's like, come with me. But he's not telling them what's going on. And so when they get to Harris, he says, so I'm going to just say it to you straight. Layla's been kidnapped. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So one of the guys that was, you know, on the protection detail, one of the guys got shot in the throat. He might not make it. The other guy got shot in the thigh. He's going to make it, but he's going to be out of commission for a few months. But, you know, Harris is like, I'm going to get her back. Don't even worry. I'm going to get her back. So this was a really fun part for me, because this was, when they went to part 2 of the book, it was all from Layla's, which made sense since she's the one that got kidnapped. But it was just really nice reading from her perspective. I love when books do that, when they give you like a different perspective of each character. I love that. I just love it. It just makes it all well-rounded. So the second part is it's from Layla's perspective, and it's showing what's happened once she's gotten kidnapped. So she's on a little boat. She doesn't know where she is. When they got her, all she had on was like a red thong and a t-shirt. So that's still what she has on when she's in the boat. Her hands are bound. And they've partially ripped her t-shirt. And so her tits are kind of hanging out. And one of the guys keeps trying to touch on her. And he's basically speaking in a foreign language, but he makes like a comment, you know, we can just have fun with her. And so the Yuri guy, who's kind of over the crew, he's like, yo, boss says we can't touch her. Like, no. And the guy kept trying to like grab on her, and so Yuri just killed him. I was like, oh wow, this is what we're doing. And she doesn't see it because she is blindfolded, but you know, she knows what happened. You know a bullet sound. And so then they transfer her to another boat that's bigger. But they put her in like a small dark room, and it smells like fish, and it's horrible. And she's in there for about 3 days, and they, slide her food in there every day. She can't tell you if it's 3 meals a day, if it's 1 meal a day, because time at this point is just it makes no sense to her. So she has no idea. She just knows she is getting some food. So she's had to pee, so she's been holding it, and she asks Yuri if she can pee, and he's like, yeah, you can, but the door has to stay open. And then she's like, okay, fine. She's like, I have to do number 2, so if you want to smell it, go for it. He's like, close the door. So while she's in the bathroom, she sees a pen, and it has a pen cap on it. And so she's thinking, I can do something with this. But then she's like, where am I going to hide it? Because they're going to see it. So she sticks it up her woo-ha. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that pen has been everywhere. But I guess we're in like life and death type situation. So she's like, I'm gonna make it work for me. So probably like a day later, they finally get to São Paulo, which is in Brazil, and they take her to Vitaly. And Vitaly looks at her, and he's like, why does she look like this? Like, what's going on? And Yuri's like, that's how we got her. This is what she had on when we kidnapped her. You said to bring her however she was. And he's like, yeah, but you could have given her some clothes or done something. And he's like, I mean, I stopped the guy from raping her. Like, Yuri's like, I did my job. And so Vitaly's like, no, you didn't. This is not the way I told you I wanted her brought here. And so Vitaly gets his knife out, and he just kills Yuri. Like, boom, gone. I was like, oh my gosh. And then he calls for the guy to come up and to clean it up. And so she's sitting there, she's just kind of stunned, but she's just still standing there. So he's apologizing to her, and he's like, I apologize. I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to be like this. And he's like, let's get you a shower. But he stays in the bathroom with her, and he's just watching her, because she is a beautiful woman. So you got to think, a woman with like nice huge breasts, no stomach, nice ass, like she's a nice built one, and she's a beautiful girl. So it's like he's just staring, he's just gonna stand right there. And so he lets her know, like, the problem I have is it's with Kiri. She killed my daughter. And she's like, even though it was just self-defense, he was like, even though I still have to defend my daughter's honor, like, doesn't matter. Like, I got to get her back for it. So, of course, his plan is to kill Kiri. And then she'll probably be next after that. Fall into a routine, like she eats breakfast with him every morning. When he works out, she works out with him. Like, there's this whole little routine going on. And then one day he gets called away for business, and it's a little further away than normal. And Cut, which we remember is Vitaly's right hand man, comes in like he's been in a war. And the first thought I had was, oh, like Harris is coming. Like, oh, he's there, like he's coming to get her. But no, this is just some other fighting that and killing that Cut has had to do. So Cut has had his eyes on her this whole while she's been there. So he tells her, I have fun with you. And she's like, no, I don't think your boss would like that. And he's like, doesn't matter. My boss, I'm his oldest friend, He's not going to get mad at me. And he'll never know, because you'll never tell. So she, of course, is like, no, she's still on that tip. I'm not giving you anything. So, of course, now he's going to take it. So he punches her, knocks her down. And then he starts kicking her and punching on her. And so she's curled up in a ball. But she's able, because she is still wearing this freaking thong. So she reaches in and takes the pin out. And she had known a MMA fighter that she used to screw, a while back. and he had taught her some moves. So she used one of her MMA moves